Welcome to Guitar Search Saturdays. My name's Shane. This is episode 15. I can't believe we're so far into this series already, so a huge thanks to everyone who supports the show on YouTube. I absolutely appreciate it. Today's video is something a little bit different. We're headed to the Melbourne Guitar Show, which happens once a year. It's kind of like our own small version of NAMM, only it focuses on acoustic and electric guitars only. There are a few other instruments at some of the booths, but generally it's just guitar equipment. You'll also see pedals and effects. Today I'm joined by Dr. Rick as well as Ryan, so we did get a chance to film some playing as well. There's lots of great stuff on display. Let's go check it out. Hagstrom guitars look really nice. I've only had a chance to play one lefty over the years, and on this particular occasion there were no lefties in sight. That's not uncommon even at a guitar show. While Hagstrom guitars were originally made in Sweden, they're now made in China. That doesn't stop them from looking absolutely beautiful. They definitely stand out. As you can see, they're also heavily inspired by Gibson. While in the back of my mind I see Kemper as a bit of a glorified Mustang, I definitely want to get my hands on one and give it a proper shot. I should also point out that the guitar show has just opened and there's no one around. It doesn't stay this way for long. When I saw this wall, I thought of one person. Pixie Licks. Steve, this photo's for you, mate. I hope you like it. I gotta say, Ibanez are making some spectacular looking guitars. Just check them out, they're all beautiful. Check out that guitar in the center, I'm totally digging the finish. Even though originally the Ibanez Tube Screamer was a rebranded Maxon OD808, I always feel there's a disconnect between their guitar and that particular effect. I'm not 100% certain why I feel this way about Ibanez, but I definitely see them as more of a guitar and bass company. Their effects are kind of like something they did back in the day. Muso's Corner is a store located here in Australia, and I have to say they had some really great Fender stuff as well as other brands. One of the highlights for me was this. Please remain calm. We have our first official lefty sighting. What's better than one left-handed guitar when you're a southpaw? Two left-handed guitars. It was great to see some lefties at this booth. I told the guys at the booth that I absolutely approved of them having a couple of lefties on the wall. The guys at the booth had a chuckle and they said they like to keep it fair for us poor lefties. Awesome. Here's me giving Rick a little bit of shit about being a doctor and being the only one in this whole thing that can afford to buy one of these guitars. These are definitely yours, mate. Look at this.
Yeah. No, you're right.
This was definitely one of the standout guitars of the day in terms of just being really obscure. Believe it or not, you might have heard me comment, this guitar is actually worth 5,000 Australian dollars. It's an acoustic with very much like a Telecaster neck. Interesting stuff. I'm starting to think I might need a siren for guitars that cost more than $5,000. $7,000 for both of these two guitars. Not only do they have a left-handed Gibson Les Paul, they also have two Gibson SG guitars. One's a studio and one's the standard US model. They look absolutely cool. Check out this crazy bass guitar. Tell us about your Line 6 guilt, mate. Come on.
No, until it arrives, it hasn't happened.
Which one did you get, mate? Which one?
It's called the LT.
It's kind of weird how most of the digital modeling amps all kind of resemble each other now. This must be the new look for these type of amps. In terms of the Line 6 amps, this new design looks the best so far. Is it one of these things? Believe it or not, Dr. True Bypass himself, Mr. Hand-Wired, he actually got a Line 6 Helix. Sorry, Rick, I had to dob you in on this one. I would never have expected you to get one of these things, so they must be quite good.
Is that the LT?
It actually looks pretty good.
It's guaranteed to give you that plastic tone that everyone wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like
You're an endorsed artist now, aren't you?
Sorry?
You're an endorsed artist.
I'm a bullshit artist.
The next booth was the George Evans Custom Amplifiers booth. Phil George and Tim Evans were nice enough to allow us to come in and invade the show and film a little bit of a demo of his amps. I thought featuring Rick and Ryan in this video was the best way to go ahead and do this, so check out some of their playing. We're actually heading back to one of the first booths that we went to because there was an awesome butterscotch Telecaster in there. It's a 52 with a humbucker neck pickup and a regular Telecaster bridge pickup. It's relic, it looks the business, and this is exactly what these two guys love. So let's see how bad the gas gets.
It's like a 52 relic. I've never heard a
Fender humbucker sound like that. It's so bright, the neck pickup's awesome.
God damn it, I knew this. I knew it happened.
Is it terrible?
I like it. I knew it.
That neck pickup, I never heard of Fender neck pickup like that. What was that called?
Sorry?
What's that called?
If I know. It's my James Bond call. It's got heavy strings too, it's good.
Out of all the guitars we played throughout the day, Rick and Ryan both said this was by far the best. It was just a shame the deal price was $5,000. I must have got pulled up about 15 or 20 times throughout the day from people saying, "Hey, love your channel, thanks so much for what you do," all that kind of stuff. I reckon Rick got pulled up about 30 or 40 times. Everyone seemed to recognize him first. I love it. I think that's just too funny. Both the hand-wired and the regular AC30 C2 amplifiers both look extremely tidy. I'm a huge fan of their look. Some side handles wouldn't go astray though. I think that's one thing they could add that most people would appreciate. There they are in all of their glory. The Mustang GT series of amplifiers. Nothing but fantastic tones can be found on every single preset. I'm gonna have to find a siren that relates to sarcasm. The next booth that we came across was Reuben Guitars. These are actually made in my hometown here in Melbourne, Australia, and I've never actually heard or seen any of their guitars anywhere. This doesn't actually surprise me. A lot of companies in Australia don't utilize the tools at their disposal to get known. That said, these guitars are absolutely beautiful. Check them out. I'm gonna shut up and just pan around so you can see how beautiful these guitars are. Visually, this was easily my favorite. This kind of reminds me of the Wancaster. If you don't know what that is, I'll post up a link in the cards. This acoustic by Reuben Guitars is called the Legacy. It also retails in at around 30,000 Australian dollars. Not only does the guitar feature some golden tuners, it also features some private stock Brazilian rosewood. It is visually pretty stunning. Up next we have a killer mix of just about everything. This was one of the most impressive guitar collections at the show, and one of the Tellers, which is just out of shot sadly, was an original 50s one. That's absolutely insane bringing it to a place like this. There we go, another lefty. It's great to see some at the show, even though they are few and far between. The World of Music booth was also pretty awesome. They bought a whole lot of really cool effects and some obscure ones like the Death by Audio robot pedal. If you haven't seen my demo of that, I'll post it up in the cards. I was completely out of my element. I love when new guitar companies are as innovative as Chapman Guitars. Check it out left to right. We have a Flying V, 2 Strat style guitars, a Les Paul and an Explorer, as well as a Tally T style Chapman guitar. Yeah. Good work on reinventing the wheel. Sarcasm aside, they do actually look like pretty decent electric guitars, but if I wanted a Strat or a Telecaster, I'd probably buy a Fender. Over to Sherlock amps now. These are another Australian-made amplifier company that I've heard lots about over the years but never actually seen their amps anywhere until now. Rick was lucky enough to have a bit of a playtest on one of these. Let's see how he goes dialing in a tone. Right now, I'm not exactly sure what I think of Sherlock amps, but I wasn't overly blown away by the one Rick was playing. I'm pretty sure we all felt the same way about it. That said, they make some amazing looking amps. I'd really like to test out these particular ones right here. I think that would be more our sound. How great is this? An original 59 Les Paul. This isn't a reissue or a Voss guitar, it's the real deal. Check it out, a Telecaster with a lace sensor humbucker bridge pickup. Quilter is an amp brand that has been around now for several years, and they've got their name for producing really light and really loud amps. Not only do they make combo amplifiers, they also make heads on their own. These weigh in at 0.9 kilograms, which is under 2 pounds. That's insanely light. It's great to see some Reverend Guitars in Australia. Reverend Guitars aren't household names in Australia, they're way more popular in the United States than they are here. I really dig their design, they do something unique and innovative in terms of their boost circuit, as well as offering some shapes and pickup combinations that are unique to them. Hats off to Reverend Guitars. If you do like them, post a comment in the comments below. Up until now, I've never seen a Princeton look this absolute badass. Check it out, it's a Princeton with a black tweed finish. This is a similar tweed finish that you'll see on amps like the Bass Breaker series, and they've also put the black cloth on the front. It looks totally cool. One of the great things at the Fender booth was the brand new Brad Paisley Telecaster. In Australia, these sell for $2,500. They're made in Mexico, but they look absolutely stunning. Rick was lucky enough to get his hands on it just for a quick play. We couldn't turn it up too loud because of where we were, and the place was starting to get really full. But I'll let you check it out. Rick did bust out a few chops on this particular guitar. Sadly, from this point on, there was way too much background noise as everyone else started just noodling really loudly. It's a shame we couldn't just crank up the amp a little more. Check it out, some Fender American Pro Series electric guitars. It's great also to see another lefty hanging up on the wall. I'm actually quite digging that red Tele. That Hot Rod Deluxe is what Rick was playing through before. I would have loved to have cranked it up. This new dark grill cloth that they're using on their amps absolutely looks the business. As you can see, the comparison now in terms of attendance is a whole lot busier than it was at the start of the show. I don't know about Ryan, but Rick and I both don't like big crowds of people. The more people that go to an event, the less chance you have of actually walking anywhere without someone bumping into you or vice versa. Between the three of us, Rick is the only one that really plays a whole lot of acoustic guitar. I don't get that excited about checking them out, but I thought I'd show you a little bit about what we saw upstairs. So this section is dedicated to those who enjoy a little bit of fingerpicking. I thought I'd check out the Cole Clark acoustic guitars. Visually, these things are absolutely stunning, and in terms of either these or Maton, I would give the edge to these in terms of visuals. Love them or hate them, they're actually doing something a little bit more out of the ordinary, which is pretty cool. Not to say Maton guitars don't sound great, because they absolutely do. I've owned a Maton, I've played some Cole Clarks. Tone-wise, they're very comparable. These just have the edge, in my opinion, in terms of visuals. Over the years, Maton have just stuck to one sort of design, which is very bare bones, and it will appeal to a different audience. Either way, both are really great Australian-made guitars. I was really surprised to see a Reverb.com stall at the Melbourne Guitar Show. Being that they're essentially like eBay, I was kind of wondering what they were doing there, but I guess all promotion is good promotion, right? Maybe. There was also a million different types of effects. This booth in particular had some of the best things I've seen in quite some time, and also a lot of pedals that I've never heard of in a particular range. TRex makes some amazing pedals, there's no doubt about it. This particular one is an actual working tape echo pedal. I've never seen one of these in person before. I'd love to get my hands on it and give it a shot. Between Rick, Ryan and myself, I was the only one who hadn't heard of this guitar brand before. They're called Cilia. Cilia guitars are made in Australia as well. While their shapes are heavily inspired by other guitar companies, visually they're quite unique. Visually, this blue guitar would hold its own with any PRS. It looks pretty wild. And guess what? They also have a left-handed tally style guitar. It's loaded with a Seymour Duncan mini humbucker. Awesome. If you do have a 4 or a 5K monitor or higher, watch this video in 4K for the full res. The detail on that finish is insane. I stopped in at the Eastman booth as well, and I have to say, some of these violin finished guitars just look absolutely spectacular. I had a chance to play a couple of Eastman guitars a few years back at Jerry's Lefty Guitars in Sarasota, and that Del Rey right there in the middle was one that I tried in a lefty, and it was awesome. If you want to get a quality guitar and save a few bucks, check out Eastman. This was the Hold Fast custom paint booth. Basically, you can send this guy your guitar, he'll sand it back and put any design you like on there. It's amazing artwork, and these absolutely popped. There was one in particular that I really loved, and you'll see that in a moment. Check out the airplane finish on both of these two tallies, they look spectacular. And this was easily my favorite, the Attack from Mars. And that wraps up a Mega Guitar Search Saturdays. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please click the like button. If you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and click the little bell that's right next to it. You'll get future notifications from my channel whenever I post a Guitar Search Saturday video. A huge thanks to Ryan and Rick for letting me film them, and a huge thanks to all of the booths that allowed us to come in and film as well. A massive thanks to all the fans of the channel that came up and said hi and left us some kind words. That was really, really nice. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. This will be the last Guitar Search Saturday for the next few weeks, as I'll be overseas. I'll also be filming some new episodes while I'm away, so there'll be plenty more episodes coming. Lastly, a massive thanks to all the Patreon subscribers. I always appreciate your support. It's been great, and I do give back on my Patreon page, so if you do subscribe, you get first dibs on any of my X-Demo pedals that I no longer need. So keep that in mind, it's not a one-way street. If you're a huge fan of Guitar Search Saturday, also check out the tees. All the links are in the description below. Thanks for watching, catch you soon.